So now summer's well underway. We're starting to get our harvest coming in. And I'm going to show you how to ferment some garlic. This is something you can do to use your garlic that's not so good. This, when I dug up this garlic up, as you can see, the outer coating was broken. And so I know it won't store well. So what you do is you break the cloves off. You peel them like you would for you doing anything with garlic. And I'm going to just very gently smash it so that I bruise it a bit, crack it a bit, just to get the juices flowing. And then I'm going to put it in a jar with some honey. It has to be raw honey. That's a bit too much. It has to be raw honey. It needs all the natural antibiotic properties that honey has. And then, so you put your cloves in there, you pour honey over the top, and then that's going to sit there for several weeks on a dish so that as it ferments, it will bubble up. I will put some more garlic in there to fill up the jar later. You have to make sure your garlic is fully covered by the honey. Put the lid on, not too tight, just enough so the bugs won't get in it. And then as it ferments, you'll see bubbles coming up. The honey will thin. And you can actually leave it on the counter. I do tend to, after it seems to have done enough fermenting, I will put it in the fridge. To use this, you could use the garlic cloves in any cooking that you're doing, something that might like a little bit of sweet honey flavor. You can take a garlic clove as is, raw, if you're feeling like you're getting a cold coming on. And or you can use a teaspoon of honey in the same way. Now, some other things that you can do is you can store you've got vegetables, and you can dehydrate them. I've already cut some tomatoes here, and I do tend to, if it's a round tomato, I tend to cut it in a slice about that thick. I remove the seeds because they just make a mess anyway. And this is a little cherry type tomato, and again I took the seeds out of it, and I put them, as you can see, upside down, skin side up. That way they can drip. They will be on the bottom of my dehydrator. If you're using air dry or the stove, it's not so. It's important where you put them, but these will drip, and I don't want them dripping on my other vegetables. So the tomatoes, I'm just going to cut this one open. This is another paste tomato. I would say not completely ripe. Looking at the top there. Paste tomatoes tend to have all their seeds in the center, and usually not very many. So you see how few that has? So just put them out, and this tomato had fallen off the plant. That's why it's probably not fully ripe. Anything you're dehydrating, you shouldn't use your seconds. They should be fresh, so you get the best results. When they're dehydrated, they have to be very, very dry, and then you can store them for long, long periods of time. And as you can see with this, I can either put it whole, but it's quite big. Dehydrated foods, I find, are really only best if you're cooking with them. You can make pasta sauces and stuff like that with these. Just wanted to show you, I meant to, some of my garlic, the coverings are totally gone, and this has a little onion worm or garlic worm has got into it, so you could pick out all the good pieces or just throw the whole thing out, put it in the compost. These are beans. Beans you don't want them like this, really limp. That's too old, that bean. You can use overcooked beans, like that are starting to develop seeds. So that's okay. These will be used for cooking, so it doesn't matter if they're not young and tender. If you have little marks on your beans, I would cut them off, top and tail them, and then cut them up in chunks. Remember, they will shrink as they dehydrate, but whatever size you'd like them to be in your soup. Some of these are flat beans, some of these are round beans, but they're all going to go in the dehydrator, and just lay them out